Hello YouTube bass players, this is marloweDK with a little greeting to you all. This is my first video where I'm talking. Usually I just play through my bass and I have no option to speak while I'm playing because I have neighbors and I'm only using this little thing to play through. And a lot of you have been asking, what is it? It's a Korg Pandora multi-effects headphone amp. It can do a lot of stuff, but it has some amp simulation and a lot of effects, and it's a really good little thing to sit and practice at home. And a friend of mine made a cable I could use when I record my bass into the computer, because there's only one output on the Pandora, and I got this special cable with a stereo output that goes into two, a male and a female jack. The male jack goes into my iMac here, and the female jack I plug my headphone to, so I can record without latency. That's really good. And I normally use a lot of compression and a bit of chorus to get the sound right. And a lot of you has also been asking how I get such great sounds out of my different instruments, especially the Rickenbacker. People were surprised over that I could play funk on and get a really crisp sound. But it helps with these effects. The compression does a lot to it. So if I just was to plug my basses into the sound card, it wouldn't sound good at all. So this helps a lot. And a lot of people have also been asking me what strings I use, and I have different strings on all my basses. And it's round room strings, so I get the crisp sound, but otherwise I don't use any particular brand. I've used DR strings and the Dio strings, but I also use roto sounds. But in fact, you can't really hear that big difference, because when it's through this little thing, it all sounds pretty much the same. And then again, a bit about my effects, and I'm going to tell you a bit about and present my basses, which a lot of you have been asking about too. The first bass, the one I use the most during the last couple of years, which is my main workhorse, is, just a moment, Marcus Miller jazz bass, a replica of Marcus Miller's 72 jazz bass. This is a Marcus Miller signature model, and it's fairly cheap and plays really good. It has the Marcus Miller had a preamp built into his bass, a star preamp as far as I remember, and this preamp is not that good sounding, a bit too electronic for my taste, so I normally use it in passive mode. I always use it in passive mode. This is a bass I play most gigs on. And before that, I played on my relic, this beauty, which is a Fender jazz bass from '63. Yes, you heard it here first. All original. I even got the old flatboom strings. It's not on it, but all parts are original. You can see it's been around and been played a lot. It plays really well. And a lot of you will probably ask why I'm not using this on so many of my gigs. That's because the Marcus Miller plays faster. I can play faster on it. So it's all about playability. But this sounds really good too, and I use it on recordings. It's a really beauty. Before these two basses, many years, especially in the 80s and the 90s, I played this one. This was my first professional bass, which is a Fender jazz bass from '71, and it used to be Sunburst, but in '79 I saw Breaker Brothers band playing Montmartre in Copenhagen, and under their heavy metal bebop live tour. And their bass player called Jason, which is one of my big inspirations from that day on, played a cherry red Fender bass, and I went home, went up to the attic and stripped my bass of the sunburst and painted it red with some car paint. Not a very good paint job, I might add, but then again, when your idol's bass is red, you've got to have a red bass. This is the real twangy one, because this really has a lot of sound to it. And unfortunately, I cannot play for you with electricity on, or with the amp. I don't have an amp. It's all through the Pandora, because I have neighbors, and yeah, no amp. Never uses an amp in my home. My neighbors are happy. For my rock things, I have two basses. I have this one, this beauty, this graphical beauty, which is so much different from the other basses from the Fender line, which is a Rickenbacker 403 bass. This is a new one from 2005, and it's really good. Has really clear sound, both in the high and the low ends, and it's a beauty to play a pick on. It's a very guitar-like bass, good for glam rock. And another rock bass and funk bass too is, of course, my Fender P-bass, which I recently bought. Fender P-bass 76. This is really good. Has really good low end. It's one of the heavier P-basses. So really good. I'm really happy about it. My newest purchase is a Yamaha TRB 6-string bass, which I got inspired by watching all these gospel bass players on YouTube. This is really cheap. And this is the newest one, and I'm having a lot of fun out of it. I'm getting to grips with the very broad fingerboard, but it's really fun to play. This is very easy to play because the strings are so close to each other, and the strings are very low here, so I can play things on it I wouldn't dream of playing on the other basses. So a bit cheating, perhaps. Well, this was a bit about my basses and my equipment, and in another video I'll talk a bit about my bass inspirations, and maybe show you some records from the 70s and some tunes on those with those artists that gave me a lot of inspiration. Of course, I get a lot of inspiration just watching other bass players here on YouTube, and learning some new techniques and some new ways to play the bass. It's just watching great musicians play. That's always good. I wish you all a very good night. Thank you for listening to me. Hi all.